Good morning YouTube, my name is Minty and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different than our standard videos. I'm actually in the car wash right now, but not for long. I'm just in the self-automatic car wash, no touch, blah blah blah, I'm parked. Anyways, today's video is on how to get into the Pokemon trading card game and the online game. Now, I have actually been an avid fan of the trading card game for over 19 years. Wow. I've been playing it since I was 6 years old. In that time, I've competed across regionals, nationals, and world championships, and overall it's one of my favorite games to play, and it taught me a lot of critical thinking. I'm really thankful for the game. It has really shown me a lot of valuable lessons and skills that I've used in other aspects of my life, and really specifically critical thinking. Alright, we have just finished the car wash. Now I'm parked at the vacuums and I'm going to go over some of the notes. Step 1, there's two ways to start this, but my recommended would be, if you have a phone or a computer, download the Pokemon trading card game. This is going to be different than Pokemon Pocket. Pokemon Pocket does have battles, but it is slightly different, as that is a simplified version of the actual game. Once you download the game, I would recommend doing the tutorials, because this is going to at least teach you the principles and basics of the game. While you're playing, and once you finish the tutorials, play some matches with the starter decks and take note of the decks that you play against and see if there's any of the decks you like. At this point, you have two options. One of them is actually going to your local GameStop, Target, or game store, card game store, although not all the card game stores carry them, and actually picking up something called a League Deck box, or a League Deck. These decks will have little Pokeballs on them. You want to pick the one with a 3. It's going to be the most complex one, but these actually, for the most part, are pretty competitive and relevant in the current game. Once you get these decks, if you want to make them a little bit stronger, then what you would do is look up a website called Limited TCG, and they will show you actually how to make them better. But once you get these decks, you're actually ready to go and actually compete at local events. I'll get into that in a second. Also, make sure to get some decent sleeves. Sleeves, you'll typically be able to find them at the card game shops. The second way is actually on the trading card game online. The game has a currency that lets you exchange, it's like a purple currency that lets you exchange that currency for any card in the game. But to get this currency, you have to have duplicates of cards, and as you're opening packs in the game, if you get duplicates after 4, it'll just convert it to the currency. Now, you can open endless packs and eventually build this up. The most efficient way is actually just buying Pokemon Trading Card Game online codes for sets with small amounts of cards in the set. My favorite to do is Pokemon Go. It's not a big set, and the codes are not too expensive. And I think you could open up to 200 packs of each set. And after opening actually, I think it's 400. After opening about 100 codes, you should have enough to build a deck, and if not, then just buy a little bit more. This will allow you to try out a lot of decks without having to fully buy the entire cards, which is what I'm going to get to next. So once you find the deck that you like, whether you tried it online, or if you're just wanting some deck ideas, there is a website called Limited TCG. Limited TCG will actually show you decks that have competed at recent tournaments and their placements, and you could actually get the deck list for these decks. This is how I look and keep up with the game, because I'm not as active as I used to be. But if I want to get back into the game, I'll just look at one of the top 10 decks, see how they play out, or watch a YouTube video on how they play, and then decide which one I think would fit me most, and then I either build it online or I build it in person. And to build it in person, you could either buy the cards locally, although it's a little harder for Pokemon, as standard singles aren't as easy to come by versus like Magic the Gathering. The website I would recommend for that is TCG Player. If you want to build out a deck, you could actually copy the entire deck list from Limited TCG, paste it into TCG Player, and it'll give you an exact price on all the cards, and it'll ship straight to you. So that's actually one of the most efficient ways to do it. Now, let's say all this is going well. How do you find events? In person, on the Pokemon website, you can actually look up Pokemon Event Locator. And it'll actually, you'll type in your zip code and show you what is near you. And from there, you could actually decide what events you want to attend. For your first event, I would highly recommend a Pokemon League. Pokemon Leagues are weekly events or bi-weekly events that happen at game shops or set locations, and these are more casual events. There will be small little competitions, and you could get some points for like the World Championship to qualify, but it is a more casual environment. You can meet some people and get to play the game, and there's going to be a variety of skill levels as well. Now, if you want to do online events, for online events, you will actually just search up Pokemon trading card game online events, and some of them have buy-ins where you can pay $5 and then it'll get added to a prize pool and then compete in those events. So to wrap everything up, guys, play the Pokemon trading card game online if you can. If you can't, buy a league deck box. They're about $30. A league deck, $30. You could get them at GameStop or Target. Find a local event through Pokemon Event Finder or online for the Pokemon trading card game online. And that is how I would do it, guys, if I was going to get into Pokemon. Pokemon is one of the best card games to get into because it's not as expensive as the other ones. If you're trying to get into Magic to be at a decent level competitive, we're talking $500 to $1,000. I played CDH, so competitive commander. That my deck was in the thousands of dollars, and that is considered a moderate budget. Pokemon competitive, you could get into it for about $100 to $200, and that's really, and it could go much higher than that depending if you want to bling out the deck, but it's not necessary. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them, and catch you guys next time.